rise and remove your hats as Monterey County Sheriff Daniel Asensio sings our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' ruddy glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Sheriff Daniel Asensio. Again, welcome. My name is Joe DeRusi. I am the Senior Director of College and Career Transition here at Rancho Cielo, and I have the honor to be your MC tonight. On behalf of John Muir Charter Schools and Rancho Cielo, I would like to thank you all for joining us in our celebration of this important milestone in our students' lives. Today, my partner Cynthia Guardado will now provide Spanish translation. You all may be seated.
Hola y muy buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Cintia Guardado. Soy la maestra académica de John Muir Charter Schools en Rancho Cielo. Y él es Joe DeRusi, el director de educación universitaria, profesional y técnica. Él será el maestro de ceremonias del evento de esta noche. En nombre de John Muir Charter Schools y Rancho Cielo, nos gustaría agradecer a todos por acompañarnos para celebrar este importante logro en la vida de nuestros estudiantes.
I'd like to take a moment to recognize our elected officials and dignitaries who have taken the time to be here with us this evening. First, I'd like to start with our founder, Judge John Phillips. I see Patty Phillips in the crowd, so I'd be remiss in not mentioning Patty, that's for sure. Pete Scudder, our chair at Rancho Cielo. Chris Deaver, CEO. RJ Guest, CEO of John Muir Charter Schools. The Honorable Monterey County Presiding Superior Court Judge Rafael Vasquez, tonight's keynote speaker. The amazing Chief Carlos Acosta with the Salinas Police Department. Monterey County Sheriff Tina Nieto. City of Salinas Mayor Dennis Donahue. My colleague and good friend, Monterey County Probation Chief Jose Ramirez. City of Soledad Mayor Ana Velasquez. Monterey County Probation Juvenile Division Director Greg Glazard. the amazing Joanne Taylor, Rancho Cielo Board Emerita, and many of our other esteemed Rancho Cielo board members who have come today. It's my pleasure also to thank and acknowledge all of our amazing staff and community partners who have contributed to making this evening possible, including our leadership team, Chris Devers, Gary Vincent, Christine Roach, Ines Esquivel, Merel Mejia, Sandra Quintero, and Tiffany Harbrick. I'd also like to thank our academic teachers, our vocational instructors, case managers, and paraprofessionals, Rancho Cielo and John Muir Charter School's administrative staff who go above and beyond, behind the scenes to support our youth, especially Maria Marquez and Lenise Torres Cruz, who put immense work into planning this ceremony. And last but not least, our youth corps and garden manager, our development team, our amazing bus drivers, our on-site mental health professionals from Monterey County Behavioral Health and Harmony at Home, our incredible partners with Monterey County Probation, including Joe Grammatico, Hope Horses and Kids, the California Conservation Corps, and all of the parents and families and guests who have come to celebrate today. It is a most important reason and celebration for you to be here. Let's give everyone a round of applause. It is now my pleasure to introduce our CEO, Chris Devers.
Buenas tardes a todos y bienvenidos. Y yo quiero decir brevemente gracias a todos los padres y todos que están aquí, que están apoyando los estudiantes. Hoy día es un gran día, es un día bien importante en su vida y en su derecho y su camino y todo. Entonces, gracias a todos por venir aquí. Todos somos en esto juntos. I just want to welcome everybody and thank you on behalf of Rancho Cielo. It's a privilege to work here and be the CEO of this fine organization focused on learning and wraparound student support services. Today is the biggest event and most important thing we do all year long at Rancho Cielo. Everything we do at Rancho Cielo is about today. We spent 100 hours developing a strategic plan. The one objective for that strategic plan is that 100% of our graduates will sustain a fulfilling career 5 years after graduation. That's what it's all about. This is what it's all about today. You're going to hear from one of our alumni speakers today that embodies that truth and that fact and that focus. But with this, I just want to congratulate the graduates. You've worked hard, you've been disciplined, you've persevered, and you have accomplished something that nobody in your lives can ever take away from you. This stands forever. This is a stepping stone to that next direction. Congratulations, class of 2026. With that, I want to introduce our founder and retired Judge John Phillips.
Well, couldn't be a better day. I won all my games in racquetball, and we're graduating 93 kids. So you can't have a better day than this. You look at this, and you look at this vocational school that we've built, and people come from all around. We got all these celebrities here, and looking at what we've done. People come from all over the state now to see how did we ever build this and develop it like it is. The state of California really made some wrong turns when they started eliminating vocational training for kids. And we were at the forefront realizing that. When I started this place, I wasn't thinking about vocational training. I was just looking for a safe place to kids wouldn't be shooting at each other. And we started working on this place, and it was all volunteers that started coming in and started to work, and I couldn't raise any money. And Don Chapin brought his people, and one of the key people was Sam Funk, brought Sam in, and he ran things. And so we started working, and the kids who were assigned to do the work because they've been in trouble, they started working with us. And we assigned one of those to work with each kid. And after a while, the workers, every weekend we would be working with them. And after a while, they said, hey, these kids are pretty good workers. They're doing a good job. And then we realized they had never been exposed to anything positive. They'd only been exposed to the negative. And I could see it when I would take these kids home. If they missed the bus, you'd take them home, and they'd say, well, drop me off here, Judge. It's not safe for you to go into my neighborhood. It was safe for me because I was an old white guy, but if I'd been a middle-aged Hispanic, it wouldn't have been. And so they were isolated in these things and didn't get out and do it. So these kids were such good workers. I actually hired them to work with us then after their time was up, and they were doing a good job. So we moved in. And Patty was running the office until then we could get Jadrian, who took it to the next level, and we brought Jadrian in. And I was outside doing the work all the time, and I had crews because I got in with the Sheriff's Work Alternative Program, so they sent me all the people who had to do work alternative, and if they had a construction background, we got them. And the thing that really realized that maybe vocational training was a positive thing. Joe Grammatico came to me one day, and what would happen is if these kids got in trouble, instead of expelling them and sending them back out to the neighborhood, they had to come and work for me. And my kids will tell you I'm not a fun person to work for. And finally, Joe is here. Joe Grammatico came to me one day, and he said, this isn't working, Judge. He says, they'd rather be out there working with you, learning and painting and doing all the dirty jobs than they would sitting in the classroom. And so that's when we really started thinking about the vocational training and going in that direction. I think these kids here on campus, I think they appreciate the fact that this campus was built by us, built by the community, for them, and it wasn't something that was mandatory. It was something that we got in and built for them. And I did want to acknowledge about everything we built here. Sam Funk, my good friend, he was the boss on it. Every time I ran into a problem, I'd call Sam Funk, and he would get up here and do it. Every job we did, including the big vocational did it. He did all the site work for that. This place wouldn't exist. So, Jadrian, do you have that? We were going to give it to Sam, and he wasn't around when we did our 50th anniversary. So we have that plaque so everybody knows Sam Funk built this campus. Now, you can't keep that, Sam, because we have it. We're going to plant a tree, not a big tree, a little tree, but maybe it'll grow into a big tree. But I want everybody on the campus to know that you played a big part in this campus. So thank you, Sam. For those of you that want to know a little bit more about vocational training, you should have been here Monday. Actually, a girl that left this campus to go to work for Don Chapin 14 years ago. She has her contractor's license now and was a foreman of Chapin. She was a graduate of here. But she was an interesting girl. You may have heard her speak at the Roundup. Her best friend and younger brother was 14 when he was killed on the streets, and she took to the streets to avenge it. And she was doing a good job of avenging, and they told me, don't bring her on campus. She was the best concrete worker I ever saw, And I got her a job with Don Chapin. And that's another little interesting story. She didn't want to leave the campus. I made her get in the truck. I drove up, and Sam was working on the upper lake, and he was on a backhoe, and he interviewed her on a backhoe. She got the job, and she poured that 40 yards of concrete, stamped concrete, using our kids to help her on the job, and was through by 11 o'clock. She's got her own contractor's license and doing that. And she's doing all right because she called me one day and wanted the name of an attorney for unlawful detainer, and I said, well, what's the matter? And she goes, nothing with me. One of my renters isn't paying the rent, and I want to kick him out. So that gives you a little idea of what the vocational training can lead to. For me, I'm really proud of these kids. I'm around most days and see how hard they worked at this. For me, I don't think the important thing is the diploma. I mean, we just assume we're going to keep working with you until you get your diploma. But for me, what I see is the self-esteem, the self-confidence, the pride they start taking in themselves, and the positive outlook they have now going out into the next stage of their life. And you see them, they're looking forward to it. And another thing that I see different about our students and other students is the civility. We had a guy here teaching the kids how to do pavers. And he came to me later and he said, you know what? I've never met such polite kids in my life. He said, everybody said, good morning, sir. And that civility, I'm really proud of that being a part of our students. I think it maybe should be spread around to some of the other schools and maybe the other nations. But real proud of these kids. Thank you. God bless.
Sorry, you get to introduce everybody else, but I get to introduce this one. So it's my great honor and pleasure to introduce one of the finest students I worked with over my 22-year career in alternative education. When I was the lead teacher of the Silver Star program, the first program up here before the rest of the programs were established, Annabelle was my student on formal probation. Joe Grammatico was here and remembers Annabelle. And she was one of the first people, I don't want to give away a lot of what she'll talk about in her speech, to do the middle college class and ACE program at Hartnell, start taking college classes early. And she took advantage of the Turning Point work study program, and she always worked to make money and occupy her time. And over time, she went on to achieve incredible things, which you're going to hear about. She's from the graduating class of 2012. And with that, I bring Annabelle Guzman.
Good evening, everyone. To the graduating class, families, teachers, staff, and honored guests, thank you for allowing me to be here today. This is truly an honor for me because not too long ago, I was at this school speaking at my own graduation. Today, I stand before you not just as a 2012 graduate of this school, but as someone who overcame obstacles that once felt impossible. I hope my story reminds you that your past does not define your future. As a little girl, I grew up in foster care. Like many children in the system, I experienced instability, confusion, and moments where I questioned where I belonged. Eventually, I was reunited with my family and returned home. While that should have felt like the ending to a difficult chapter, life still wasn't easy. As a teenager, I struggled. I made choices without fully understanding the consequences. Those choices eventually led me into trouble and onto probation. I felt like my life was falling apart. I thought my mistakes would define me forever. I then realized sometimes the lowest moments in our lives become the turning point that changes everything. For me, that turning point was Rancho Cielo. Rancho Cielo gave me structure, guidance, education, and most importantly, people who believed in me before I fully believed in myself. There were mentors, teachers, counselors, and staff who saw potential in me even when I couldn't see it myself. They challenged me to think bigger about my future. They taught me discipline and the importance of hard work. They reminded me that one mistake doesn't determine the rest of my life. Education became the foundation that helped me rebuild myself. Rancho Cielo gave me support, resources, opportunities to continue learning and growing. While in the Silver Star program, I also did the work study program that gave me my first job experiences, which eventually led to being hired full-time. After graduating Rancho Cielo, they connected me with individuals who helped me get my college career started. I started off as one of the first cohorts to complete the ACE program at Hartnell College. During the first couple years in college, I did face many challenges balancing school, responsibilities, finances, and self-doubt. There were even moments I wanted to quit because the journey felt too difficult, but I kept going. I stayed focused on the goals I had set for myself and the future I wanted to create. I learned that success doesn't happen overnight. Success is built through consistency, sacrifice, determination, and the willingness to keep moving forward even when life gets hard. Today, I am proud to say I became a respiratory therapist. I work at both hospitals in the community where I was born and raised. This is a career I worked incredibly hard to achieve. I completed all the necessary classes in order to apply to the program, and then I made sure to stay focused during the 2 years in the program. It wasn't easy. While being a mom of 2 beautiful daughters, there were sleepless nights, stressful exams, and moments where I questioned if I was strong enough. But every challenge taught me resilience. I realized my current situation was not my final destination. Small steps every day led to big results over time. Success begins with small decisions you make daily. The important thing is to keep moving forward, even when the process feels slow. Discipline and continuing to work hard, even when it's difficult, is what creates success. Never let temporary struggles convince you to give up on your permanent goals. Till this day, after completing goals I had set for myself, I continue to set new ones. My next goal is to eventually be part of a critical transport team where I can use my skills as a respiratory therapist working in helicopters. To the graduating class today, your life is just beginning. Some of you may already know exactly what you want to do, and others are still figuring it out, and that's okay. Life is not a race. Everyone's journey looks different. What matters most is that you believe you are capable more than your circumstances. Do not allow your background, your mistakes, your fears, or other people's opinions limit your potential. You are capable of growth, you are capable of change, and you are capable of success. And most importantly, you are worthy of the future you dream about. Take advantage of the opportunities, education, mentors, and resources around you. Ask for help when you need it. No matter where life takes you, never stop investing in yourself. Class of 2026, today we celebrate your hard work, your resilience, and everything you overcame to get here. Be proud of yourself, be fearless about your future, and never stop chasing your goals. Congratulations, graduates.
Well, thank you, Annabelle, for that. It is now my pleasure to introduce tonight's keynote speaker, the Honorable Monterey County Presiding Superior Court Judge, Rafael Vasquez.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Annabelle, for that extremely inspiring story. To the families, loved ones, mentors, educators, volunteers, the community partners, the members of the board of directors, and the dedicated leadership team of Rancho Cielo, including the Honorable John Phillips and Chief Executive Officer Chris Devers, and especially the extraordinary graduating class that has gathered before us this evening. It is an absolute honor to join you and to express my profound gratitude for the collective effort that has resulted in a celebration of the remarkable accomplishments of Rancho Cielo's 2026 graduating class. Tonight is about achievement. Tonight is about hope. Tonight is about transformation. And tonight is about the extraordinary power of a community that refuses to give up on its young people. We are here to celebrate the graduates of Rancho Cielo, a place that has become so much more than a school or vocational campus. Rancho Cielo has become a symbol of opportunity, a symbol of dignity, a symbol of resilience, and a belief in human potential. For more than 20 years, Rancho Cielo has stood as one of Monterey County's most important forces for positive change. On this beautiful campus, lives have been transformed, futures have been rebuilt, and young people have discovered something that many had almost lost: hope. That transformation began with the vision of Monterey County Superior Court Judge John Phillips, whose experiences on the bench revealed a painful truth that too many young people in our community were trapped in cycles of violence, poverty, hopelessness, and limited opportunity. But rather than simply acknowledging the problem, Judge Phillips acted, and he chose to help create a solution. And he imagined a place where young people could receive not only an education, but mentorship, guidance, workforce training, counseling support, and above all, a genuine opportunity to build a different future. That vision became Rancho Cielo. And today, under the extraordinary leadership of Chris Devers, along with an exceptional staff, committed educators, compassionate case managers, devoted counselors, generous volunteers, and dedicated industry partners, Rancho Cielo continues changing lives every single day. To everyone who has invested your time, to everyone who has invested your talent, your compassion, your mentorship, and your financial support into this organization, thank you. You have done more than support a program. You have restored confidence. You have opened doors. You have helped young people discover strengths that they did not know that they possessed. And graduates, tonight, as you wear your caps and gowns, you are living proof of that impact. Many of you arrived at Rancho Cielo carrying burdens heavier than anyone should have to bear at your age. Some of you have experienced instability. Some have experienced trauma. Some have struggled with poverty, homelessness, violence, loss, or self-doubt. Some have faced educational challenges or mental health struggles. Some wondered whether success was even possible. But Rancho Cielo saw something in you that perhaps others in your immediate community had overlooked. They overlooked potential. They overlooked talent, worth, and promise. This community at Rancho Cielo looked at you and said, "You matter. Your future matters. And your story is not over. And this evening, you have proven them right. Graduates, your accomplishments are extraordinary because your journey was difficult. You persevered. You showed up. You worked hard when quitting would have been easier. You chose growth over defeat. And in doing so, you achieved something powerful. At Rancho Cielo, you did not simply earn credits or complete assignments. You developed skills that will shape your future and strengthen this community. You learned how to build sustainable homes. You learned how to restore classic cars. You learned how to repair engines and heavy equipment, how to weld and fabricate with precision, how to prepare meals and serve with professionalism, how to work with advanced agricultural technology and mechatronics, how to maintain campuses, lead crews, solve problems, and work as a team. You learned responsibility. You learned discipline. You learned leadership. You learned accountability. And perhaps most importantly, you learned to believe in yourselves. And that matters because the future of Monterey County depends on young leaders like you. Young people who are resilient. Young people who understand hardship, but who can't be broken because they possess a strong sense of hope and optimism. Young people who are willing to strengthen their families, workplaces, and neighborhoods through integrity, compassion, good character, and hard work. Our communities need moral and ethical leaders, leaders who choose responsibility over excuses, leaders who understand struggle and therefore treat others with empathy and respect, leaders who are willing to work hard, contribute positively, and lift up others along the way. And graduates, Rancho Cielo has helped prepare you to become exactly those kinds of leaders. And while your vocational training has prepared you for careers, Rancho Cielo has also done something deeper. It has prepared you for life. The team of individuals that work on this campus has taught you that success is not measured solely by income or titles. Success is measured by character, by resilience, by integrity, by the manner you treat people, by your willingness to continue growing, learning, and giving back. Some of you will continue your education in college, in technical schools, apprenticeships, or certification programs. Some of you will enter the workforce immediately. Some of you will become welders, mechanics, builders, chefs, entrepreneurs, agricultural innovators, hospitality professionals, educators, public servants, or business owners. And some of you will discover paths that you cannot yet imagine, and that is okay. See, what matters is that you now possess something incredibly powerful. You possess direction. You possess skills. You possess confidence and the understanding that your future is not determined by where you started, but by the choices you make moving forward. Never underestimate the impact that you can have. A welder can build, maintain, and repair the physical foundation of our communities. They provide the structural integrity that's needed for community infrastructure, for public safety and industrial growth. A mechanic can keep communities moving safely and reliably by maintaining the vehicles that people rely on every single day. They provide a foundational service that directly impacts public safety, economic stability, and personal advancement. A builder literally constructs the physical framework of our society, transforming blueprints into the homes, workplaces, and lifelines that communities need to thrive. And the builder's physical labor directly creates the environments where people live, learn, and grow. A chef can nourish communities and drive local economies by transforming raw ingredients into experiences that foster human connection and create joy. They provide essential sustenance, celebrate cultural heritage, and create entry-level career pathways that unlock upward social mobility. A mentor can redirect a life by sharing knowledge, building confidence, and opening doors that might otherwise remain closed. They provide the emotional guidance and strategic direction that help individuals navigate life transitions and realize their full potential. A leader can change a generation. And every single one of you has the ability to become a force for good. That is the impact that you can have. But wherever life takes you, remember this, that your past, as Annabelle said, does not define your future. Your circumstances do not determine your worth, and your struggles do not diminish your ability to succeed. You have already demonstrated courage that many adults never develop. You have already overcome obstacles that many people never see. That is a tremendous strength that you possess. Carry that strength with you, but also carry gratitude, because no one achieved success alone. Behind every graduate tonight stands an army of people from the Rancho Cielo community who believed in you, teachers who refused to give up on you, case managers who checked on you, counselors who listened to you, volunteers who invested in you, industry partners who trained you, and families who sacrificed for you, friends who encouraged you, and a community that believed you were worth investing in. That support matters. That same support mattered to me when I was growing up in South Monterey County, trying to find my way, trying to find my purpose, while my immigrant parents, with nothing more than a sixth grade education, worked hard in the agricultural fields and struggled to provide for our family. My teachers, my coaches, and members of the local King City and Greenfield communities encouraged me, invested in me, and refused to give up on me. And their support opened doors that I never thought were possible. So again, the support you receive from the Rancho Cielo team truly matters. And one day it will become your responsibility to do the same for others. So reach back and help someone else rise. Mentor someone younger. Encourage someone who is struggling. Be the example that proves transformation is possible, because you understand better than most people that opportunity can change a life. Tonight is also a reminder of what can happen when an entire community comes together with purpose. Rancho Cielo stands as proof that education, workforce training, mental health support, mentorship, compassion, and accountability can break cycles of poverty, violence, hopelessness, and despair. This organization has become one of the leading forces for positive change in Monterey County because it recognizes an important truth that young people do not need to be defined by their worst moment. Instead, they need opportunity. They need guidance. They need support. And they need people willing to believe in them so they can develop a strong sense of personal value. That belief has transformed hundreds of lives. And graduates, now it is your turn to continue that transformation. So carry yourselves with pride, lead with integrity, work with the unyielding purpose of achieving excellence, treat people with dignity, with courtesy and respect. Honor the sacrifices that brought you here, and never forget where you came from or the people who helped you along the way. There will be difficult days ahead, and life will challenge you. You will experience setbacks, and there will be moments when fear, doubt, or hardship try to convince you to stop moving forward. But do not quit. Remember the strength that brought you to this graduation tonight. Remember the resilience that you have already demonstrated. Remember that perseverance often matters more than perfection. And remember this, that your story is still being written. This graduation is not the end of the journey. It is the beginning of your new chapter, a chapter that is filled with possibility, with purpose, a chapter in which each of you has the ability to become accountable, competent, productive, and responsible leaders in your families, your workplaces, and your communities. As you leave Rancho Cielo and begin the next chapter of your lives, I want you to remember something important. You are the next generation of leaders, thinkers, creators, builders, innovators, and advocates. The future strength well-being, and prosperity of our community rests in young people. It rests in you. Your voice matters. Your life experience matters. Your ideas matter. Your dreams matter. And your willingness to show up every day, even on the difficult days, even when you are tired, discouraged, uncertain, or feeling not your best, that consistency, determination, and drive matters. The character you demonstrate when no one is watching matters. The choices you make matters. The example you set for others matters. And your willingness to stand up for fairness, to question injustice, to advocate for those whose voices are not always heard, and to actively participate in your community will help shape what comes next for Monterey County and beyond. So never underestimate the impact that one person can have. Every great movement, every thriving business, and every strong family, every vibrant community begins with individuals who choose to care, who choose to lead, and who choose to act. So be one of those individuals. Use your voice, use your talents, use your creativity, use your education, and use the skills and opportunities that you have gained at Rancho Cielo to make a difference wherever life takes you. Do not underestimate your responsibility and your privilege to uphold the values that have carried our community forward, such as maintaining integrity, compassion, perseverance, accountability, respect, and service to others. The future is not something that simply happens to you. The future is something that you help create. And looking at this graduating class this evening, there are many who have never felt more optimistic about what lies ahead because we see young graduates of courage, we see resilience, we see talent, determination, hope, and we see leaders. Graduates, your community believes in you, your families believe in you, Rancho Cielo believes in you, and now it's time for you to continue believing in yourself. So go forward with confidence. Go forward with purpose. Go forward knowing that your best days are still ahead of you. Congratulations, class of 2026, and may you continue to rise, continue to lead, and continue to inspire all of us with the lives you build and the difference you make. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Judge. I did want to say that the rule of law is alive and well here at Rancho Cielo. Judge Phillips makes sure of that every day. And I just want to say that Judge Vasquez's professional achievements and lifelong dedication to community service and his passion for justice and mentorship still continues and helps us with the journey. It is now my pleasure to introduce our student speaker. Jose Manuel Mendoza is from our Construction and Sustainable Design Academy, and he has found his voice and his career passion. He is a leader in our school, and he has done quite well for himself. It's now my pleasure to introduce Jose Manuel Mendoza.
All right. Hello and good afternoon to all. My name is Jose Mendoza Vina, and I have the grand privilege to share my life story tonight. I was born on November 28, 2007, and I am proud to say that I am named after a strong, responsible, and hardworking man, my father. I was born and raised in Salinas, California. I also known as the Salad Bowl, and I did not have the easiest childhood, but throughout this was the case, I did not let that stop me. I did not have my mother in my life, which is a main challenge that took a heavy toll on me since I didn't have her support. But throughout that roadblock was thrown at me, I did not let that stop me from reaching my goals. Thanks to my father, Jose Mendoza, and my grandma, Selena Morales, for their constant support, I am able to be standing here today. Before I attended to Rancho Cielo, I was known as a troublemaker by my family and my former school, but it's because they didn't really get to know me. Unfortunately, I saw myself the same way at the time. At my past school, I was getting in trouble and I was hanging around the wrong crowd, so I was often involved in problems which resulted in me not getting my work done and missing school. My attendance was not the best, but even when I was in school, I felt so disconnected from my teachers and distracted by other things happening at the school. But as soon as I moved to Rancho Cielo, my whole world did a 180. I was able to turn my life around before it was too late. At first, I was going to be nervous since I was going to be the new kid. But once I started talking to people, I realized that I fit right in. During my time at Rancho Cielo, the connections I've made with new friends and teachers who have become like mentors. I have to come to realize that people that used to see me as a troublemaker missed out on getting to know one strong, caring, dependable, and hardworking young man. At first, at Rancho Cielo, I have been a part of many projects in the construction program. I have worked on the mobile houses, which kept me busy and taught me a lot about construction, and working as a part of a team with my classmates. I have been a part of the AIM program with GMCS. We talk about mental health and the youth. I have also been part of the after-school podcast program. Doing interviews, podcasts got me comfortable with speaking and meeting new people. I've learned a lot in my time at Rancho Cielo, and now often I am the support system for people who are facing tough situations since I was once in their place. But thanks to God and to my family, I'm in a better place now. Over the years, I've noticed that I am a great communicator, which allows me to be a good team player, and that is one of the many skills that I am proud of. During my time here, I realized that construction is a career path I want to pursue after receiving my high school diploma. I am hopeful that someday I will be the owner of my own construction company, and along with that, help my dad retire from working in the fields, advance his food business, and help him reach his dream of owning his own restaurant. If you guys can take one thing away from my story, is that everything in life takes time and that sometimes things do not go as planned. But that does not mean that you should give up, because that might just be your sign that you need to change your direction. Right now, as I'm really starting to grow up, things are pretty stressful and challenging. But what keeps me going is the motivation I receive from my family, especially my father. My dad is my biggest supporter. He's a person who taught me everything I know. He works long hours in harsh conditions, but although he's always tired, he makes sure that I have everything I need and more. Some of my favorite memories are my birthday parties he would throw every year, because he would always go all out to make sure I felt loved and special. Although there was one parent missing, he did not have enough for both of them. I remember my dad crying and stressing over work and childcare since we did not have anyone to take care of me and my brother throughout the day. But somehow he made it work. My dad left his whole life behind to make sure I am able to have the future he did not get to have. I am forever grateful that he did that for me, because I know it was not easy having to start over in a new country and not being able to go back home. For that reason, I want him to know that this diploma is just not for me, but it's for him and all his sacrifices. He's the one that moved me from my previous schools to Rancho Cielo, and that was one of the best things he could have ever done for me. As my time at Rancho Cielo comes to an end, I want everyone to know that your circumstances do not define your future. You can come from a low-income community, have a complicated family dynamic, or struggle mentally, and still achieve your goals if you truly believe in yourself and keep pushing forward. You can absolutely do it. If I was able to do it, then you can too. And if we can do it, the people who come after us can as well. No matter what's happening in the world, or in your personal life, it is important to keep going, keep growing, and keep fighting for yourself and your future. Thank you all. One more. Hola y muy buenas tardes a todos. Mi nombre es José Mendoza Vina y tengo el gran privilegio de compartir sobre mi vida esta noche. Nací el 28 de noviembre de 2007 y me siento orgulloso de decir que llevo el nombre de un hombre fuerte, responsable y trabajador, mi padre. Nací y crecí en Salinas, California. No tuve la infancia más fácil, pero aún así no permití que eso me detuviera. No tuve a mi mamá presente en la vida y ese fue el mayor reto que me afectó profundamente, porque no contaba con su apoyo. Pero aunque ese problema apareció en mi camino, no dejé que me impidiera alcanzar mis metas. Gracias a mi papá, José Mendoza, y mi abuela Selena Morales por su apoyo constante, hoy puedo estar aquí enfrente a ustedes. He aprendido muchísimo durante mi tiempo en Rancho Cielo y gracias a Dios y a mi familia ahora estoy en un mejor camino. Con los años que he descubierto que soy un gran comunicador, lo que me permite ser un buen compañero de equipo, y esa es una de las muchas habilidades de las que me siento orgulloso de haber aprendido aquí. Durante mi tiempo en Rancho Cielo me di cuenta que la construcción es la carrera que quiero seguir después de recibir mi diploma. Tengo la esperanza de que algún día seré el dueño de mi propia compañía de construcción y además ayudaré a mi papá a retirarse del trabajo en el campo, a hacer crecer su negocio de comida y a cumplir con su sueño de tener su propio restaurante. Si ustedes pueden aprender algo de mi historia, es que todo en la vida toma tiempo y que a veces las cosas no salen como uno planea. Pero eso no significa que debes de rendirte, porque tal vez esa sea la señal de que necesitas cambiar de dirección. En este momento, mientras realmente estoy creciendo y madurando, las cosas son muy estresantes y difíciles. Pero lo que me mantiene adelante es la motivación que recibo de mi familia, especialmente de mi padre. Mi papá es mi mayor apoyo. Él es la persona que me enseñó sobre la vida. Él trabaja largas horas en condiciones difíciles, pero aunque siempre está cansado, se asegura de que nunca me falte nada. Algunos de mis recuerdos favoritos son las fiestas de cumpleaños que me hacía cada año, porque siempre daba todo para hacerme sentir amado y especial. Aunque faltaba uno de mis padres, él hizo lo suficiente por los dos. Recuerdo a mi papá llorando y preocupándose por el trabajo y por quién cuidaría de mí y de mi hermano durante el día. Pero de alguna manera siempre logró salir adelante. Mi papá dejó toda su vida atrás para asegurarse de que yo pudiera tener el futuro que él no tuvo. Siempre estaré agradecido con él por eso, porque sé que no fue fácil empezar de nuevo en otro país y no poder regresar a casa. Por esa razón, quiero que sepan que este diploma no es solo para mí, sino también para él y todos sus sacrificios. Él fue quien me cambió de mi escuela integral a Rancho Cielo, y esa fue una de las mejores decisiones que pudo tomado por mí. Ahora que mi tiempo en Rancho Cielo está llegando a su fin, quiero que todos sepan que sus circunstancias no definen su futuro. No importa lo que esté pasando en el mundo o en tu vida personal. Es importante seguir adelante, seguir creciendo y seguir luchando por ti mismo y por tu futuro. Muchas gracias a todos. Apá, si te puedes parar para que te miren.
Well done, young man. And now the moment you've all been waiting for, our commencement of the class of 2026. It is my pleasure to invite the CEO of John Muir Charter Schools, R.J. Guess, a hero for alternative education, and Liz Lopez, our amazing academic instructor for John Muir Charter Schools at Rancho Cielo, to do the honors.
John Muir Charter Schools and Rancho Cielo staff that are here today. There's a lot of them. I think there's about 40 total. So I just want to say thank you. I'm just kind of a figurehead behind the curtain, but it's really the folks that work here every day that get the hard work done. I think 2022, Chris, how many graduates did we have? About 32 or something like that? So we've tripled the number of graduates in the last 4 years, and I think that's pretty amazing. Back in 2010, when John Muir joined Rancho Cielo in this partnership, we had 25 students. So I think we're about 8 times more than that, at close to 200 now. So I think that's also another spectacular thing under the ranch's leadership. So with that, let's get the important part done, the part you've been waiting for. And I'd like to invite Liz up to do the... I got to have the diploma set. Okay.
We will now recognize the graduates of the Ag Technology and Mechatronics program. Pedro Acosta. Gonzalo Amezcua. Eddie Chambers. Peter Gonzalez. Jennifer Pérez Olivera. Juan Puga. Alexis Quiroz López. Stephanie Salas Guevara. Diego Trejo. Jimena Lucio. Now for the graduates of the Auto Diesel and Classic Car Restoration Program. Isabel Alderete. Alejandro Carreto Cisneros. Isaura Cisneros. Aaron Correa. Walter Games. Jordan Henson. Esmeralda Hernández. Brandon López Fernández. Andrés Martínez. Giselle Moreno. Giovanni Nestor. Alan Ortega. Maximiliano Pérez. Jacob Eduardo Piña. Alba Belisa Ramírez. Isaac Vargas. Didier Quintana Camargo. Now for the graduates of the Construction and Sustainable Design Academy. Santiago Amezcua. Yael Ayala. Kevin Cruz Virgen. Daniel Dominguez. Brian Gomez Ortiz. Luis Enrique Hernández Navarro. Juan Samir Hernández Soto. Kimberly Leilani Waso Luis. Destiny Martinez Carrillo. Julio Martínez Flores. Tracy McCurdy. José Manuel Mendoza Avina. Luis Ángel Reyes Tejeda. Rubén Robles Hernández. Daniel Rodríguez. Yasmín Sánchez Santiago. Now for the graduates of the Drummond Culinary Academy. Aidalín Castrejón. Angel Coronel Salas. Phoenix Dennis. Ashley Diego. Xavier Falcón. Melanie Garcia. Melanie Mendoza Salgado. Michael Maury. Andrea Muria. Isarit Olivo Sedano. Andrew Parker. Catalina Pérez. Alessandro Plaza. Priscilla Rincon. Jocelyn Rosas Ocampo. April Saldaña. Ruben Saldivar. Arisan Sarabia. Asari Tinajero. Natalia Villagómez. Now for the graduates of the Welding and Fabrication program. Miguel Belmontes Montejano. Fabian Bravo Sanchez. Jesús Chávez. Danny Delgado. Joshua Gallegos. Giselle Hernandez. Ivan Magallón. You guys can stand up. Stand up, stand up. Elijah Moody. Leila Nogueras. Christian Paua Olivera. Aiden Perez. Samuel Ramos. Chicome San Nicolás. Eric Solis. Go ahead. Stand up. Angelina Strickland. Joseph Trejo. Now I'd like to recognize the graduates of the Silver Star program. Vivian Connor. Amilcar Méndez.
Okay, graduates, please stand up. Now, graduates, please take your tassel from the right, transfer it to the left, signifying your transition. Congratulations, class of 2026.
It's my pleasure to introduce our board chair for our final comments. Pete Scudder, please come to the podium.
Give it up for amazing class. Look at this. That's what you call a lot of hard work. And sorry about the sun in your eyes, but we are having a graduation up here. You probably can't see it. But it's this amphitheater is amazing. They'd be able to fit all these people. I think next year, if we have more students, we might have to add on to it back there. But thank you for being here this evening. I'm going to try to keep it very short because you're all probably hungry. If you want to, you've been sitting in the sun. We've been sitting in the shade. So, I was just thinking. All these students up here, all the graduates this evening, and I was thinking something about when John Phillips and Patty Phillips founded this. None of these kids were born yet. It's been 25 years, and they weren't even born when John and Patty had this concept to do what they've done. So, John, thank you for all you've done, and Patty, thank you, and students for making this all work. You know, at the time, it was a real bold idea. Some people may even have called it impossible to make Rancho Cielo what it is today. John believed that there would be another path for young people who were struggling in traditional schools. Visionary. Young people who need opportunity, direction, and support. And he saw that when a lot of other people didn't see that. His vision was to create an alternative to mainstream education by combining high school education with hands-on workforce development, vocational training, and real job skills. And you're seeing that tonight. This is what it's all about. So well done. John knew this vision, and it could not happen. He couldn't do it alone. It would take a strong business community, social services, dedicated educators, professional staff, and people who believe that every young person deserves a big chance. And the most important part of all that, none of this could happen without the students' involvement and the success that all these students are having at Rancho Cielo. So again, thank you so much for all your hard work, students. Rancho Cielo's successes is only truly measured by your successes, all you student successes, and the students before that, and the amazing keynote speakers we've had talking about their life story, the heart-wrenching stories, what they had to go through to get to here, to think positive, to make great things happen in their life. Each of you have helped prove that it is possible when young people are given not just a handout, but leg up and a real opportunity, a real support, and real expectations. Every one of you has a life story. Some of the stories have not been very easy. Some include mistakes, setbacks, loss, pain, moments when you may have wondered if I can keep going, but you did. You kept going. But at some point, each of you have to ask yourselves, is it an important question? Am I going to let my past define me, or am I going to learn from it and move forward? And that's what you did these last few years and the successes you're seeing right now. But this is just the beginning. You have a whole life in front of you. You chose to look forward. You chose a brighter future. You chose growth. You chose responsibility. And a day you would earn right to be very proud of yourselves. But also, I want to be honest with you. The road ahead of you is not going to be easy. Life will bring challenges. There will be heartbreaks, obstacles, and moments you cannot predict, but they will happen. But those challenges do not have to stop you. You'll face them head on, the way you learn from them, and you'll keep moving forward. You'll shape your character and open a path to success. Like I said, this is just the beginning for all those successes that are ahead of you. I'm almost done here. If I can turn my page, it'll be good. Never lose sight of your dreams. Turn those dreams into goals. We talked about goals earlier today. Write them down. Look at each of them very often, every single day. Ask yourself, what can I do? Even one small thing can I do today to move closer to making these real? You have already shown that you can overcome. You have already shown that you can grow. You have already shown that you are capable of more than some people may have even expected. Now take that same strength with you into the next chapter of your life. In the closing, I want to leave you a quote from Muhammad Ali, one of the greatest boxers of all time. Don't count the days, make the days count. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
gotta take a picture, homie. Just Uh-oh.